Is it I am audible?
Yes, sir.
Very good morning, all of you. Let's start today's session. In that, we'll discuss about the variable. I will check how we'll declare and initialize the variable, and after that, majorly we'll discuss about the static variable and non-static variable, and the way how we will execute the static as well as a non-static variable. These are two different concepts, and these are two variables using different kinds of memory. So for that, it is quite important. Okay. So now, when we talk about the concept of variable, okay, the name itself indicates that variable is nothing but a name given to a storage area where we can store the value. The value of that variable will be changed or may be changed during execution of the. So what does it mean? Simply, variable is nothing but a storage area like a wallet. In that wallet, we can able to store the cards and money. Like purse, in that we can able to store the money, or we can say that cards. Okay. So just while doing the see, whenever we perform any program in the Java, we required to use some values. Okay, for example, I want to perform an addition. Suppose I want to find out even number. Suppose I want to generate Fibonacci series. Okay, so like that, we required to deal with value, and that value cannot be we cannot able to deal with value directly. We need to store that value. So that purpose we will use the what is a variable. So this definition is required. See, while attending the interview, we required to use these definitions. Okay. Variable, thus it is name to each area. Today we're gonna discuss about the variable and file also. We require a definition. Name given to a storage area. Maybe. Here I'm using a word maybe. Okay, so that means it is not mandatory to change. The value may be changed during execution of. Make a note of that. I'm using the word the value may be changed when the during execution of program. Okay, so it means that the value may be changed at the time of execution. When we run the program, that means when we compile the program, that .java file will be converted into .class, and after that we will execute that file .class file by using Java and file name. At that time, the value may be changed. Okay. So just I will show you. So for example, here I'm using a variable a is equals to 10. So I cannot say that this one is a constant. Okay, constant. Why? Because the value of variable may be changed. If this word occurs, then and then we can say that this one is a variable. For example, here I'm using b is equals to 20. And later on I'm using a is equals to a plus b. We get output we will get output, it would be 30. See, now earlier the value of A is a 10, later on the value of B is 20. When I perform the addition A plus B, that means 10 plus 20, and I want to store again the output of that addition will be stored in again A. So earlier the value of A is a 10, later on the value of A is equals to 30. Okay. So ये तो possible नहीं है मेरे सामने a is equals to a plus b. That means whenever I declare the variable, it has a 10. Whenever I declare a b variable, it has a 20. And this will be executed at the time of execution. Okay, when I compile the program, when I execute the program, the output will come after the execution. So that's why here I use the word the name given to a storage area where we can store our values, and the value may be changed when during execution of program. This statement is the most important statement. ओके सो ऐसा याद नहीं रखना है कि a is equals to 10 लिखा है that means it would be a constant b is equals to 10 20 लिखा है that means it would be a constant ऐसे डिक्लेयर नहीं होते okay so now second two important points and ये majorly हम use करते हैं whenever we do we majorly use this there are two different things see I will explain the scenario assume that you need to find out the keyword. Yeah, we will cover the queries at the end of this lecture. Okay, I will explain each and every point. Don't worry about it. Just consider it on lecture. So the next is so I will explain two scenarios where we can use these methods variables. Okay, so first one, for example, consider that if you want to find out the even number and the value will be accepted from the user. In that case, value will be accepted from the user. In that scenario, you need to declare the variable only. Okay, and second scenario, you need to find out the even number for existing value. आपके पास एक वैल्यू है उसका फाइंड आउट करना है दैट मींस वी नीड टू यूज डिक्लेरेशन एज वेल एज इनिशियलाइजेशन एंड अगर आपको यूजर से वैल्यू लेना है देन इन दैट केस वी नीड टू यूज डिक्लेरेशन जस्ट आई विल एक्सप्लेन वन मोर टाइम so here is the syntax for example I will declare the variable here we require a data type discuss about the data type don't worry about that var name this method is called as a declaration of variable. If we did, if you don't know what will be the value of variable, then majorly you can use this declaration of variable. If you don't know the value of variable, for example, I declare a is equal to 10. That means I know that the value of a is 10. But when I use int a only, then I don't know the value of a. So that case we will use the declaration of variable. Later on, जैसे भी मुझे पता होती है, then I will initialize it. Okay. The second method is data type. Var equals to that method is called as a declaration and initialization of variable. That method is called as declaration and initialization of. When we use this technique, कब use करना है? See, if you know that the value of variable, in that case we will use declaration and initialization. Okay. So ऐसे इसके अंदर भी, for example, just I will give you two examples. Part one example, int a. Later on, I will use int a is equals to 20. So देखते समय लगता है this one is a variable and this one is a constant because we initialize the value. Okay, so ऐसा नहीं होता है. Make a note of that. Whenever we use any other keyword in front of data type, then we can say that this one is a constant, but the value of a may be changed. Okay. Make a note of that. These two things are very important. Yeah. Now, just I want to discuss two types of variable. Two types of examples. Two types. First one is a static. Just we will discuss about that and later on we will execute the program. Don't worry about that. Static variable. Second one is static. So this we have two options. These two options. What is the difference between static variable and null? See, in last lecture we already discussed about that these two things. Okay, whenever we use a static in front of method, that means the memory will be loaded. That the memory will be loaded once in a program. Okay. That means that method will be executed once in a execution. Okay, so that is used for so now, if we have non-static variable, that means static keyword is not used. See what it may be. Just use a static keyword in front of any data type, that would be a static variable. If we are not using static keyword in front of any variable, then that will be a non-static. That would be a non-static. Note of that. Okay. And also the static variable is called as variable. It's a class variable because let's start examples. We'll take example. For example, I want to declare static variable. Declare a static variable. What should I do? I will use as a static. After that, I will use a data type. After that, I will use variable name. Use variable name. Okay, so this is the example of static var. For example, I want to check the example of static method. Can I use it? Static void. I assume that the method name. That would be a static method. This one is a static variable and this one is a static method. What about non-static? Just similar example of example in non-static. Just I will make a copy and paste. That's it. Remove the keyword static. Don't use this. See. So this variable is called as a non-static variable, and this method is called as a non-static. ये difference होता है. Okay. So now we'll take one short example. So you will get the idea regarding the non-static variable, and just we'll do the two programs of non-static variable and two programs of static variable. Okay. Just let's start with. So I will save my program having the name. So I will store my program in code. Here I will use double control and I will use enon stat. So this one is my program in stat dot stat dot program name would be the same if you want. If you don't want, you can change. Okay, I'm ready to. Now I want to do the program of variable only. Okay, I want to do the program of variable. Let's do that. Int b. Just I will initialize a is equal. So here I will do what? I will use this inside. So inside one function, it will be executed. So just do what? We'll do basic example, public starting void main compact kit string of pqr I already told that instead of A as use, we can use any data type. In that, I will declare variable int A, comma B. A will be 10. So 20 will be B. See, in that case, did I use a static keyword? Here I use the static keyword. Did I use the static keyword in front of any A and B? Okay, this variable. Did I use? No. Variable are non-static variable. Just I will use a system dot down to perform the addition. That's it. Okay. So for this program, does we require to create an object? No. Why? Because everything will be available in main method. If everything is not available inside the main method, or we wrote outside this main method, then in that case we need to create an object. Very basic program, and I can say that this is a non-static variable. Why? Because I am not using a static keyword in front of it. I'm using a static in front of main method because this is a main method. Another example also. Let's start. Let's open terminal. Open the folder cd code. Why? Because हमने पूरे कोड कहाँ रखे हैं डी ड्राइव पे कोड के अंदर. Here the screen. Now we compile the program. Java C. Name of the program. Static. Execute the program. See, whenever we compile the program, the .java program will be converted into .class. Now here I am trying to execute the .class file. Addition is 30. Using that we can execute non-static variable. So this method is called as a declaration of variable. This method called as a initialization of variable. Declaration separate hai, initialization separate hai. If you want to do the same, here I will make a comment that we can use int a is equals to 10. That term called as a declaration as well as initialization of variable. Okay. वेरिएबल के आगे कुछ आप लिखते हो और टर्मिनेट करते हो तो दैट टर्म कॉल्ड एज अ डिक्लेरेशन along with initialization of. Let's do another example. In that case, just inside that function we'll declare the variable and we'll access it. Okay, so what should I do? So just like copy the constant one. Here I'm using a non-stat one. Now what we need to do, now we'll declare variable outside int a, declare. I'm trying to declare the word variable, non-static variable. So now should I do? Just I declare the variable non-static. We will do what? Show method. Inside the show method, I will declare the variable int a is equal to 20. E, and B is equals to 20. So these two variables are declared. Now, now I have to execute. See, this one is a non-static function. If it is a static, then we have different method. Okay, our पास different method है to execute the program, but this method is a non-static. Why? How will I identify? Because of static keyword. Static keyword ही नहीं use किया गया. So definitely we can say that this is a non-static method. Discuss about non-static variable. Now we are discussing non-static. In that case, we need to create an object of object. First, we'll use new operator to allocate a memory. Why? Because dynamic memory will be allocated to the variable while doing the operations. Okay. Whenever we create the object at that time, make a note of that in Java. Directly memory is not allocated to the variable. In Java, whenever we create the object at that time, the memory will be allocated. Now, here I'm trying to execute by using the obj. ये method बहुत important है. Kindly note it. So how I am trying to executing the program if it is a non-static. So in that case, here I'm trying to create object of class if the method is a non-static. Here I'm trying to create the object of class if the method is a non-static. If it is static, then we will do the another example. I'm trying to use the same program. Okay, हम same program ही करेंगे. So just copy paste, but object dot show. That means what? The method will be initialized. Here we did not perform any operations. Operations. This will perform the addition. That's it. We do not want to show any message. But will be executed. See, the main control will be available in public static void main. After that, object will be created, memory will be allocated, object dot show. Control goes here. After that, they initialize the variable using the dynamic memory allocator. Then they initialize the value and they will perform the operation. Let's compile Java C non-static.java. Okay. So this is about the non-static variable and non-static method. Okay, ये program हमने किए फिर भी हमने क्यों किया है कि we need to discuss what is the static and non-static. We need to discuss what is the static and non-static. Okay. Now we'll do what? We'll do one more example. Wait. We'll do one more example. In that we'll declare variable. Which variable? Static variable. So here I will save the program first. Program is stat stat.java, that's my program name. So I'm trying to save that. We'll use now I want to declare a variable entity. That's I want to declare one variable only. And that variable must be a static. So that's why what should I do? I will use a static keyword in front of that. I want to initialize with some value called as a 20. So now I can say that this a is a variable whose data type is integer and whose value is a 20 and it would be a static variable. Why? Because of this keyword. It is quite easy. See, इससे interest आएगा आपको कि if we have a static variable, if we have a static method, then there is another method, another way to execute the program. Let's say I want to display the value of a. I want to display my program a is. I want to display the value of a. Okay. Let's write down public using a string of images of an array. Just I want to display the value of a. I don't want to create an object. Okay, it's not mandatory. Okay, so when I wrote anything inside the static, public static void main, okay, so then that will be accessible. If it is a method, then it would not be accessible. But if it is a variable, then it would be accessible. So just I would write here system dot println. Just I would display value value of a. Here is terminate and here I will use plus symbol. Okay. When I just I will show you when I press only A. Okay. Did I create any object? What will be the scope of that variable? The scope of variable is curly brace open and curly brace close. Let's see what happened. Java C Java C that STAT1. See, error class names that are only accepted if annotation process is explicitly requested. Okay. Now that means we cannot able to access the same. Why? Because the scope of that variable is outside. Now, what should I do? I will use just one dot C Java. The value of A is 20. How is it possible? Earlier we get the error. Now just we wrote stat1.a. See, I want to say one thing. Static variable will be static variable and static method will be accessible through the class name because it is static. Make a note of that. If we had a static variable, if we had a static method, then that will be accessible by using the class name. What will be the name of class? Stat1. Here I am trying to access this variable with the help of class name. We are the non-static by using object, non-static method and non-static variable can be accessible through the object, and static variable and static method that will be accessible through ये difference आपको भी याद है. Let's do one more example to clear the concept. I will save the program. In that case, we'll take example of add a program stat2.java. Just I will use class stat2. Now here I will use a method static void sum. Okay, ये मैं बेसिक हर बार सम का एग्जांपल जस्ट अंडरस्टैंडिंग के लिए दे रहा हूँ. कि मुझे वही पसंद है. Okay, so right now we don't have any other options and that's why we are using this method. See, earlier the method was a non-static. Now the method sum having return type integer and that method is called as a static. Okay, so inside that I would declare variables. A is equals to 20, B is equals to 30. I will write one statement string dot concept समझो. ये addition business logic skip that part. Concept क्या है ये understand करो. Just here I will write A plus. Now how do we execute that method? Without main method, we cannot able to execute that. String of ELGS of an array. So here I have variables open. And in that case, I don't want to create an object. Make a note that I'm using a static method. So here in that case, just what should I do? Stat dot the name of method is it will be executed. I created any object. मैंने कुछ object create किया है नहीं. So can I able to execute this program? What do you think? Just admit yourself and let me know. Can I able to execute this method? There,
Yes, sir,
your
because static variable creates object automatically.
it will be loaded once in the program. Okay, so it has one special property. That means if we have a static variable and if we have a static method, then that will be executed with the help of class name. In the interview, see, in the interview they will ask the question regarding that. Does static variable called as a class variable? That static method will be called as a class method? The answer is yes, because with the help of class they can execute without a object. Okay. कैसा है मालूम है ना? ये ना आपको प्रैक्टिकल ओरिएंटेड ही पढ़ना पड़ेगा. प्रैक्टिकल बेस पढ़ के कुछ भी मीनिंग नहीं है. See, I executed the program. Addition is 50. Did I created any object? Even though we can use object also. ऐसा नहीं है कि object नहीं, static variable है ना, so that also executed with the help of object. So अगर if I created this object of this class and through object executed this program, तो भी execute होगा. But this one is a special feature. If we have static method, then that method will be executed with the help of note. This is overall about variable. Okay, so now let me know if we have any question or we will complete another next point. That is a final. Just I want to say final definition जो है ना वही मैं बताने वाला हूँ and after that I will give one example. Before that, if you want to ask any question regarding this concept variable, let me know. We'll discuss about that. But Vaishnavi, did you have any question? Uh, Okay, let it be. So just we'll start with the next concept. Here my concept name is constant. So just what should I do? So just that I will specify the definition. What is a constant? Constant is nothing but the name given to a storage area where we can store our values. But the value cannot change during execution of. समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
Here we can store our values and the values may ये गलत है cannot change during execution. Cannot मतलब must लिखा है. So इसकी वैल्यू चेंज नहीं होनी चाहिए. So if you want to make a constant, अब ये फाइनल है ना, तो ये मैं लेटर में एग्जांपल बताऊंगा. फाइनल एट वेरिएबल लेवल, फाइनल एट मेथड लेवल, फाइनल एट क्लास लेवल. ओके, बट जस्ट concept चल रहा है basic basic. So variable and constant. So in that case just I will specify the syntax. So in that here I will use final keyword after the time name Here I'm using a var name, okay. Var is the syntax. It's mandatory. See, when we use a final keyword, in that case, it is a mandatory to provide a file. Just I will show you example. Okay. And int a equals to, in that case, we can say that it is a constant. अब इसकी value change नहीं होगी. In that case, it will be that is the value will not change. Let's do an example so you will get the idea regarding that. Const dot plus const. So const is a keyword, so I'm not using the class name. See, it's a keyword. That's another example. Use con only. Con dot. You see, the file name is reserved by the window. Okay, Baba. On one. Okay. On one dot. I'm using class. I'm declaring one variable int. So I'm trying to use equals. Just I'm trying to declare that. String of GS. Before if you before that writing, just will compile that program. Java C name of that is con one dot. We get the error. Why you get the error? Illegal start of type public. Put this inside the. See, we get the error. A variable is not initialized in default constructor final int a. That means when I use the final keyword, it is mandatory to initialize the value and the value cannot able to change. Okay, just I will show you. Int a is equals to 20. Now I trying to compile the same program. Right now we did not get any error. We compile. Here I will create an object of that con one, which is equals to new one. Now just I want to display the value system dot. Widget dot name of method widget dot a. Or display the value of a. We'll execute that program. Java. We get the output 20. Now my question is, if I update the value of the variable, now we'll get the error. I already declared the variable a, so that's why in that case I did not want to declare int again. Okay, so I'm trying to update first final int a is equals to 20, later on a is equals to 30. That means the value will be updated. but because of final keyword, the value is not able to update. We get the error. The identifier expected. हो रहा है कुछ नहीं हो रहा है. Okay. So what should I do? File it. Already इसकी वजह से नहीं हो रहा था. ठीक है. That means it won't work. Yes, here we need to use final. Okay. So if we try to miss the value, then we get the error. Error variable is not initialized. That means at the time of we say here a constant, at that time variable must be initialized. Okay. Just here I already told that. See, final keyword data type value and variable value. Value. So I will declare final int a. Okay, so also we can use this final keyword in front of method also, and we can use the final keyword in front of class also. But we'll discuss this point in the concept of inheritance. Okay, so where we can use final. So in the interview, majorly they will ask the question, what is the difference between final, finally, and finalize? These three are three different concepts. Today we learn about the final. So,
तर पॅकेज समोर लावू शकतो का आपण?
yes.
पॅकेज समोर लावू शकतो का आपण?
कशा समोर? Pardon, ऐकू नाही आलं.
पॅकेज
Final.
हो.
नाही नाही. Final will be at, see, we can use final at variable level, final at method level, and final at class level.
Okay, sir.
Any other questions? If you have any other question, the student. Majorly, see, when we use this final at method level and final at class level, in the inheritance, we cannot inherit the property of this class into derived class. ये आपको ना होप सो आप थर्ड ईयर को हो या सेकंड ईयर को हो तो नहीं समझ में आएगा. इफ वी आर इन थर्ड ईयर, सो अगर आपको जावा हुआ है, इवन दो आप डिप्लोमा होल्डर हो गए और आपने कॉलेज लेवल पे पढ़ा होगा इनहेरिटेंस, that there is a base class and derived class. So base class and derived class होने के लिए base class की property derived class access करता है. So in that case, if we provide a final keyword in front of method, then that method will not inherit it, because final ये इंटरव्यू में क्वेश्चन पूछा जाता है, can I inherit final methods, final class? So the answer is no, we cannot able to inherit. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
The recording, minute, take the attendance.